Just put the elephant in the back. In the Hey, who's here today? Probably the same old gang. Welcome, everybody. I'm John Zidar. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close my Discord because it makes a lot of noise. So who's here? I bet you I can guess before I even look. I'll bet you it's Velmore and the Underdog and Kashira. Let's see. Lots of comments here. Velmore, MBS. Hey, there was somebody early I wasn't expecting. I knew you were there, though. I got your tickers. Don't freak out. Kashira, Mark Ryan. Mark brought a ticker this week. Thank you, Mark. The Underdog. Love all you guys, man. My crew. You keep my game going here. If it wasn't for you, we'd be starting off dead in the water. Howdy, David. Good to see you. Who else is here? Brian. Brian, I see you've got Tilray there. I've done my pre-due diligence up to Sciata right before you. So we'll see if we have time. I don't go by first come, first served for anything after those I've done. So we'll see here. But I don't get a chance to talk about twigs very often. Twigs, you know, the stuff you smoke. If I say the other words, there's a 50-50 chance to pull my videos down because of advertising. So I just call it twigs, and people call it twigs now too. Freedom 66, loving you here, buddy. Kenny Killebrew. Afternoon, Wizzy. LAES and WK have been moving in tandem. I always like finding those stocks that run next to each other the same way. Matter of fact, I am in Lays right now. My order is going to go off because I didn't put in a good till canceled. It was supposed to be a day trade, and she's not been doing, nothing's been doing what we thought it would today. Wasn't the best of days, wasn't the worst of days. There was a lot of dribble. Seemed to me that once the SPY started falling, the whole market just kind of following the leader there. So it wasn't that bad of a day, but it wasn't all that great. Tomorrow being Friday, we don't normally expect a lot to happen, but God, who knows? Seriously, the closer Trump gets to office, the more wild things are going to get. When Trump gets into office, folks, I think it's going to be a carnival. I do. I think with everything he's going to do, the market is going to change whether it likes it or not. Some sectors are going to suffer and some sectors are going to boom. And we don't know what games he's bringing. We know we've got tariffs on the table. I don't know how that's going to affect a lot of the different areas of the American market. But I think from January 20th for the next 100 days, it is going to be crazy, folks. So right now, I think we're ending one game and we're moving into another game. But it's at the end of the year right now, and a lot of stocks base their value on market value, fair market value. So they like to get the price as high as they can at the end of the year. So we could see some strong runs here at the end of the year for no good reason, except that it's the end of the year. I wasn't done looking at who came here. Boy, look at this. Me, Dallas. Hello, guys. Syed, Lewis Buckland, Ravi. Boy, there's a bunch of you here today. Hot dang, we're loving it. Well, I've got a bunch of tickers already lined up to share with you. First thing I got to do is pull up my screen here. There you go. Let's make sure everything is right. I've had a problem with this. I normally don't do the show by myself. I know that's not an excuse, but I got used to having somebody help me. Taylor had a baby. Imagine that. And she left. Imagine that. And she hasn't been back. Imagine that. I gave her an open door policy because she said she wanted to come back. And I said, but you don't have to. She said, no. I'll be there. Yeah, motherhood changes your world in more ways than you can imagine. So I haven't seen her in a while, but if she ever pops in, she's welcome here. You heard that, right, Taylor? All right. So the first one we're going to take a look at here is ticker CDT. Let me get up here and see my notes. CDT. This came from Velmore. You can get the bullets with me here, right? Yeah, you get to see everything I bring up. No hiding anything here. Oh, let me see. No, we're good. Velmore gave a CDT the bullets to consider on this stock. She had a strong pre-market run. She is breaking into AI. Who isn't? And they have a shareholder meeting that has been postponed from December to January. And just to jump ahead of it, I looked into it to see what they were going to vote on. No mention of splits. So CDT, Conduit Pharmaceuticals, company based out of Florida, obviously here in the United States. She finished today at 8 1/3 cents, and she was down a wee bit, about 5.5% today. Now, this is a penny stock on the major exchange, the NASDAQ, which it's free to trade on compared to the OTC. So you can buy shares multiple times, you can sell them multiple times, and it's not eating into your profits. You can't do that on the OTC. There's also a lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchange compared to the OTC. And there's a lot more rules. And folks, I got to tell you what, I used to love the OTC, but I've been taken by so many companies because I trust them. And well, you just don't. You don't. We need oversight, and that is a decentralized system down there, meaning there's like 200 brokers and nobody's watching all 200 of them. The NASDAQ watches over all of the stocks. These brokers barely watch the stocks that they're covering. So yeah, I like to trade penny stocks on the major exchange. All right, so let's see what we've got here. This is Conduit Pharmaceuticals. We know that she is a pharmaceutical company. Let's see. I don't see a description here. Where's my description? Well, I've got one. This is the bottom of any piece of news. Conduit is a multi-asset, clinical stage, disease-agnostic life science company delivering an efficient model for compound development. Conduit both acquires and funds the development of phase 2 ready assets and then seeks an exit through a third-party license deals following successful clinical trials. Interesting. There's a lot of companies out there that buy up phase trials that failed at a certain stage. Well, just because they failed for that indicator, that one purpose that they had put it in for, doesn't mean it's done with. And a lot of companies run out of money and they just can't do any more trials. So they sell their assets and somebody else picks up something that got through phase 1. They don't have to go through that. Phase 2, yeah, made it up to here, but there was a twitch, and they'll tweak it and they'll put it in for some other indicator. That's what they call it. And this company seems to pick up phase 2 trials, completes them, and before they have to pay for phase 3, which is a very long trial, that could be 3 to 5 years, pitting your drug against every other drug out there, they sell it to somebody else who can afford to do that. That's an interesting concept. So let's start off here. I thought about this, and it gets a little confusing for me, jumping around to things I've already found for you, because I don't get to source how I actually came across that, and it confuses me. So I can still do what I've done, but we're going to flow from the information right across the top here, because that's what I do, and I'm very anal. I just like to do things the way I do them. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Well, hot dang, look at that, folks. She went from 26 million up to 116 million, so we're over 400% increase in her volume today. Share structure. Outstanding shares is at 100 million. That's the break point for where I'm comfortable with a float or an outstanding share count. We don't know what the float is. Tell us how many shares the insiders own. We don't know that either. We'd subtract that and we'd have our float. Well, all I can tell you is it's not going to be more than 102 million. And it could be considerably less. Market cap right now is at about 9 million. Financials for this company. We got nothing coming in. You normally don't with clinical stage companies, which is an interesting concept when you consider that this company never plans on generating revenues, just assets. Maybe they get royalties or an upfront cash payment or something, but they're never going to have any revenues because they'll never have a product. They just get it through phase 2 and sell it off to somebody else. Taking a look at the balance sheet. Right now, I got about $71,000 in the bank. We got 3 zeros up here. We got to put behind any of the numbers on these charts. Total assets, about 3 million. Wow. Total liabilities, Jiminy, about 12 million. So we are holding $9 million of stockholder deficit in a company that has no revenues or potential for revenues. Wow. And all their phase trials need money to keep them going. Well, where do they get that money? Investors. They don't have any revenue, so they got to get it from us. Maybe the little guys, maybe they got some big boys. I don't know how they're going to work that out. All right, so let's see what I found for this company. Taking a look. Oh, man, it was all highlighted. You can see it was highlighted up there. All right, so let's see what we've got here. The company announced debt restructuring. That was just back at the beginning of November. The company received further patent approval for lead asset targeting autoimmune disorders. Well, patent is always good. I don't know what use they're going to do with it unless it goes with the asset after it completes its phase 2 trial and they sell it. I'm not quite sure. We'd have to dive into that. Conduit Pharmaceuticals sells 75 million shares for other stockholders. So they didn't increase the share count by this. They were just reselling for somebody else. And then the most recent piece of news that came out today, Conduit Pharmaceuticals to revolutionize drug development through agreement to use artificial intelligence and cybernetics. So they tell us here that Conduit Pharmaceuticals partnered with Somborg Limited to leverage artificial intelligence and cybernetics for optimizing key drug development processes, including drug repurposing, which is what I was saying. It didn't work for this indication, but maybe it'll work for this one. Discovery and clinical trial monitoring. See, it's great. They've got these drugs that have already been proven safe. That's what phase 1 was. So they don't have to go through any of that. So now they're just looking for ways to make use of these drugs, and they give the information to the AIs, and the AIs can go through these simulated trials, which would take us years to do. They go through simulated trials in minutes, days. I don't know. It's really, really fast. And they can come up with new ways to use this drug that we weren't even thinking about. I do believe, I may be wrong here, but I do believe that's how the vaccination for COVID was gotten so quickly. It was done by AI, not tested. We just trusted the AI. But that's a conversation for another day. This innovative approach aims to reduce human error, cut cost, oh boy, will it ever, and improve efficiency, positioning Conduit for success across its current and future portfolios. They do have a problem. The price right now is at 8 cents. Yeah, you can't be on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange and have your price under $1 for too long. You can dip under the water for a while, but you can't stay underwater for too long. You'll die. And they're not coming up. So they were given a warning already. And if I break this all down, it was August 12th. They were recontacted and they were told they had to get the price up over $1. They have to get it over $1 and close over $1 for 10 consecutive days. They don't do it. We do. We got to bid it up and close over $1 for 10 consecutive days, and they're out of hot water. And we got to do that by February 10th of next year. Now, if we don't do it, they do have a possibility of getting another 6 months to get that price up over $1. Wow. A whole year? Let's hope it gets over $1. But if they fail to get that extra 180 days, they either have to do a reverse stock split, we hate that, or they go down to the OTC, and we hate that. But in retrospect, my personal opinion, I would rather see a stock go down to the OTC and let me keep my shares. Let me keep my shares and you work it out. You get this stock back up. Don't make me pay for whatever is going wrong here. I don't care if it's being shorted or bad management. Don't make me pay for it. And the last thing I've got is actually a tweet that I found. I was going to Twitter looking for information that I may have missed. Well, my tweet was the best tweet I found. Let me tell you what. Put these up every single day between 7:20 and 9:30 in the morning. Every single day, as many pieces as I can find, I throw up. Blah. So they tell us here things we did not find. Has favorable preclinical and phase 1 data. Phase 1? I thought you were only working with phase 2. To initiate phase 2 clinical trials, and enters into an A licensing agreement with AstraZeneca for multiple assets to advance potential first-in-class treatments. Forgot about that. So that's everything going on here with CDT. Let us go take a look now at the chart. Let's see if you're with me. I don't see anybody saying they can't hear me, so everything is good, right? Okay. All right, let's close all these windows. Goodness gracious, I was a busy boy. Let's just slide these over. Looking at lots of stuff here. And what is it we're looking at? CDT? I can't remember, folks. CDT it is. All right, CDT. We're over here at my free trading platform, Think or Swim. This is my playground, folks. This is where I spend a lot of time. All right, so we're looking at CDT. That is a 5-minute chart. Let's roll this back to a year. A year, boy, that's so big. I only have a piece of the chart to work with. Feel like it's a football field right now. All right, way over here, a year ago, we were at $7.83. I don't see any reverse stock splits on the board. And we have a 52-week low, not too long ago, of just about 8 cents. We're just above that right now. As you can see, she's been stair-stepping down, and she's been floating down here for quite a while. Let's come on down to that 6-month, 4-hour, see if there's anything to be seen. Not really. Let's come on down to the hour. All right, I'm going to get rid of all these lines, at least temporarily. Somebody remind me, if I hit my Control-Z, I get all my lines back. All right, let's make this a little wider. So we had a big rip here. This was on the 21st. I don't recall if there was any news that day, but it was a heck of a rip. She went from about 9 cents up to 22 cents. So you're looking at roughly 250% rip there. Looks like it was all pre-market. I'm telling you, folks, pre-market is some of the biggest rips I've ever seen in the market. Looks like at the bell, she started to fall. Nobody who doesn't play pre-market aftermarket got any of that gain. Matter of fact, it was falling. Hopefully they were selling coming down. At least they were still taking a profit. Came all the way back down here to the 200. Went sideways for a couple of days. Took a dip. Came back up. Really isn't doing anything. And then just started trending away. She started falling away from the 200 without even trying to hang on. Then we had another bounce. Pre-market. It's all happening pre-market on this stock. From 8 cents up to 14 cents. Almost 100% jump there. And again, she did the exact same thing. Let's come down to that 15-minute. Is this all after? Yes. Look at that. So you have a big jump, comes down, hangs around, and as soon as the bell hits, boy, she starts going into that downtrend. And everybody's hoping for it to turn back up. And we haven't seen that. This stock doesn't have a tendency to come back and give back any of these gains. If you missed them the first time, you're out of this game. Right now, it looks like she's struggling just to get back on top of the 200. It's a sad stock to actually say, because she doesn't give anything back. After she gives it, she takes it away and throws it down to the floor. Came back up, and she's just down here, folks. So right now, I'm not liking it. I know she's into AI. This may be a good buy zone. Let's see here. Well, that was a 52-week low. We know that. It is a 2-year low. Let's see. Is it a 3-year low? It is a 3-year low, and that's probably when it came on the market, $12.89. Sure is. So $12.89 is its all-time high, and this is its all-time low right now. Now, she's been down here for a real long time. The only thing we can say is majorly different is she's getting involved with AI, which should really help her. I've always said that AI should be in the drug industry. This is where it can do the most good. It can do things a heck of a lot faster than we can do them without having to test them on people. Now, of course, we're going to be testing these drugs, but we can find answers. So that's the one thing they got going. This may be a good entry point. And what I mean by entry is know how much you're going to buy. $1,000, 1,000 shares, buy 25% here, maybe 30%, your entry. Because you're going to hold this for a while. It's going to be a swing play minimally. Could be a long hold. I don't know. But you don't know what's going to happen between now and then. She could hit a new low. That'll give you an opportunity to average down again, because you do believe in the company if you've already bought into it once. When she starts to climb, if you got to pay more than your original entry, that's okay. You're in a stock that you've already done your due diligence on and believe. So right now, I'm not too enthused about it. I'm not going to enter it, and I'm not going to be putting it on my watch list. But at least she's got something different going on right now. All right, that does it for CDT. Let me poke my head in over here just to see what you guys are up to. Hello, me. Did see you here earlier. David, I'll take the fourth stock. I'm not sure. Oh, are you peeking across my board? I don't even know what the fourth stock is. Yeah. No, I'm not reading that. Come on, guys. Keep these comments correct down there. Oh, come on. Lewis, Buckland. No more of that, dude. I don't know if I can kick you off or not because I'm not going to put up with that. I'll figure out how to do this. All right. Let's get back to what we are here for. Let's look at another stock. Hitting my button. Yes, I am. We're going to close this one down and open up. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're looking at LDTC. Is that the one you were looking at? All right, we are now looking at BCDS. This is Blaqclouds Inc. Let's see what notes I've got for Blaqcloud. This came to me by MBS. They have launched a new DEX, a crypto exchange that's got some extra advantages to it after closing their acquisition with Zeus. So, BCDS, Blaqclouds Inc., she is also a company here in the United States out of California. She finished the day at about a half a penny, a little more than half a penny, and she was up about 33%. She is on the OTC, the bottom tier. She is a pink, which is the riskiest tier on the OTC. They should call it red. They should just call it red. Pinks are dangerous because you don't get any validated information. And folks, that's all the market is about. Validated information, like starting with the financials. Yeah, we count on all those numbers. We weigh the company up at those fundamentals. You don't get that with pinks. Yeah, you get a disclosure, but a CPA didn't go through them. It's just like receipts tallied up and the management passes them off to us. We don't know squat. You don't get filings with pinks. What you get are news presses. And we like to believe these news presses. And that's what's busted my balls bad, folks. When I was a new trader, I thought everything was being monitored and everything was being watched. And there was liability and all poop, poppycock. Folks, I lost tens of thousands of dollars trusting pinks news presses. You want to get excited about a news press, that's great. But don't believe it. Take it with a grain of salt. Play it as a risky play. Get in, get out as quick as you can. That's my best advice for you. The only validated information you get with pinks are these two green ticks, and you only get them here at the OTCmarkets.com. They're the ones that do it. It's extra research they do. It's part of their business. The OTCmarkets.com is actually listed on the OTC markets. You can invest in this page, this company, if you want. This is part of what they do. Verified profile for the company and a verified transfer agent. You want to know more about it? Click these. And they'll tell you what they're all about. So what is Blaqclouds all about? Well, they tell us here the company's goals are to provide innovations in the digital currency space by developing advanced blockchain technologies, digital assets, and market solutions that bridge the gap between traditional businesses and the future of decentralized technology. So let's get traditional businesses and blockchain working hand in hand. So let's start off here with the relative volume for the company. It's double, virtually. We're going from about 7.6 million shares as an average daily over the last 30 days to about 13.5 million today. Share structure for BCDS is up there. We got about 500 million shares out there, 408 million. Insiders own the most of them, 267 million. That gives us 143 million. I'm not happy with 143 million, but it's nice to see that the insiders are holding a large position. It's a little heavy. What do I mean by that? Well, companies that own a lot of shares, they can do pump and dumps. Pinks, especially, they put out hot news and they get everybody excited that stock starts to run, and they have so many shares, they want to make some money and they sell them and they bring the price down. Pumped and dumped, and it's all in-house doing. So I'm always leery when I see a company on the pink that has a lot more shares than we do. I'm not saying anything particular about this company. Don't sue me for libel. I'm just saying in general, you got to keep these things in consideration. Market cap of the company, we're at about 1.6 million. Financials, are they making any money? Hey, we got a pink making money. How about that? Don't get me wrong, folks. There's a lot of big money-making pinks down here. There's a lot of companies that surprise me. I don't know why they're on the pinks. They're a lot bigger than you think they should be. We got $103,000 at the end of 2023. revenues have been growing over the last 4 years. Not super fast, but if you go by percentage-wise, they're huge jumps. Quarterlies, she's between $20,000 and $30,000 every quarter. So she's doing roughly $10,000 every month. And she's not paying anything for it. It's all a digital service, I guess. So she's not having to put any money out. Balance sheet for the company. What? 1,000. Thank God for them 3 zeros. $1,000 in the bank. That's to keep the bank account open. Total assets, about 2.3 million. Total liabilities, about 3.3. So we're holding about $1 million worth of deficit for this company. All right, let's see what we have for information. Stuff I've already found. Let's see here. Take a look at the news. Do I have it highlighted over here? Because it looks like there's a lot of it. Yeah, but I just lost my highlights. Bloody hell. All right, let's just glance at it quick here. Company updates are always good. It's not a big headline to grab your attention, but I'll tell you what, company head updates, CEO letters, shareholder letters, these are the ones you want to dive into. This is when they tell you stuff that's happened and things that are going to happen. Saves you a lot of due diligence. So you should probably dive into that one. Blaqclouds announces launch of groundbreaking blockchain-based AI enterprise, of course. That was all the way back in July. Then the company announced their intent to acquire Zeus blockchain partners. And let's see here, right here, it is. God, it was just 2 days ago. The company finally, they completed the acquisition of Zeus blockchain. Anything else here? They launched a Black token on Black IPIO, whatever that is. I don't follow cryptos. I own a little, but I really don't follow it. And then we've got the big piece of news that came out today. Blaqclouds announces the launch of AmpleSwap.com featuring new staking and yield farming opportunities. So, oh man, is it going to do this with all of them? Blaqcloud is pleased to announce the successful acquisition of Zeus blockchain partners from DMS Technology. Under the terms of the agreement, Blaqcloud has acquired 100% of Zeus. Then it moves into the next piece of news, which left me my highlights. Whoa, thank you, because this is a big piece of news here. Blaqclouds, a leader in blockchain and decentralized financing, better known as DeFi, is excited to introduce to the public AmpleSwap.com. It's layer 2 decentralized exchange. The platform provides innovative swapping, staking, and yield farming functionalities, empowering users with enhanced opportunities to earn rewards while participating in the DeFi ecosystem. With the Zeus blockchain partners acquisition closed, AmpleSwap is now a Blaqclouds DeFi portfolio application. Now, I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't even know what the heck they mean by farming. I keep thinking dirt, and I'm sure this is what it's about, but I don't know. I'm telling you. So you're going to need to do some more due diligence in that arena. All right, so I do believe that covers everything, but let us poke our head into disclosures. You never know what might be over there. We got nothing here. You normally don't get disclosures with pinks, but I always check just to be sure. So let's take this ticker and grab it for our chart. All righty, where are we at? We are at the day. So, that's 5 years. Well, 5 years ago, we were at $1.26. Let me get rid of that. That's my Fibonacci tool. I love it. This is actually 2021. We were at $1.26. She came down hard and virtually, I'm sure she's got bouncing in there, but virtually has been flat for many a year. And she hit a low here of 0009. Right now, we're at 005. All right, let's come back into real time. Let's just come all the way down to 6 months, 4 hours. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Matter of fact, I do want to see. All right, she's been flatlining. There's your yearly chart right there, folks. Now look at that. Wow, does that play with my eyes? These numbers. So we've got a low here of 0009 jumping up to 0091. That is a 1,000% run there. See if we can get the dates. That's from the 4th of December to the 10th of December. So in 6 days, this went 1,000%. And she has fallen back down to 005 from that 009. Whoa. These are the stocks I used to love to play. Don't do much of it anymore. So she was flatlining downhill underneath her 200, hit that low bubble. I don't know what ignited her. She took off, what was that, about 6 days ago, and was climbing on top of that 9-day, and she was gaining momentum as she was going. Had a climb, slowed down the 2nd day, really poured on the steam the 3rd, hit high gear 4th, and she's pulled back right now. She's crossed through the 20-day, which is what I normally expect. And you can see we've got 2 strong MAs here, the 50-day and the 200 haul, which are real strong together. I figure she's going to come down to this point. At this point, it's at 004, but it's moving, so I can't say she's going to drop to 004. But I think she'll come down to this point, wherever it's at, hit that, and maybe, hopefully, bounce. She's got reason to bounce now. She's got good news. She's got a new deal on the table. She's got a new exchange. I don't know a lot about it, but crypto's hot now. Crypto is here to stay. Bitcoin has proven itself. We felt pretty confident when it hit 60. When it fell back to 40, we had heard that, oh, this is going to hit 100 grand. Well, now that it's done it, I don't think there are any doubters in the world, folks. I think crypto's here to stay. We're going to see a lot of scam cryptos, but the cream will come to the top. All right. I don't know if I would be playing this. It's not going to be on my watch list. It's just not my thing, but maybe it's yours. What time is it? We're at 4:30 and I've covered 2 stocks. Is that bad or good? We don't know. Let's see what you guys are talking about over here. Hello, Valerie Welch. Great to have you here. Lennox, good to have you. Chris Bender, what's up, John? Made some money on AMPG. Thanks. Yeah, that was something else, wasn't it? AMPG was a hot stock I covered yesterday. When I started covering it, she was running while I was covering it. And while we were charting it, she was climbing more. And as I was saying goodbye to you, I didn't know until I watched it. I seen her hit a new high in the background. She went to like 252. It's like, look at her go. We caught it at 192 when I started the video. And at the end of the video, she was at 252. And there was still like 35 minutes left in the day. So glad you got something out of that one. Ron, give update, please. Oh, I don't know if we're going to have time today. Ron, boy, we've talked about Ron quite a few times. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about it at another date. Right now, we're going to jump into another ticker, one I've already done due diligence on. This is, dun, 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 dun. I wonder how much of my highlighting's gone. This is UOKA. I had never heard of this, but of course, I would not have heard of this stock because UOKA is a new ticker. They just got this ticker. And the company, it's an interesting company. They display history using digital technology. All right, so let's take a look at UOKA. The company's name is MDJM. This, well, I don't know what country they're from. Let's see now. I'm getting stonewalled here on information. Don't take away my highlights. You did. Oh, my God. All right. We're going to start with the ticker and move into what the company's about, and then we'll go through the numbers. They chose that ticker for a particular reason. This new ticker, UOKA, represents MDJM's core mission and strategic vision, inspired by the Eastern philosophical concept of, here it is, unity of knowledge and action, a principle induced by the Ming Dynasty philosopher Yang Ming Wang. The idea emphasizes the connection between understanding and execution, action guided by insight, and insight validated through action. So what does this company do? It's a unique company, to tell you the truth. MDJM is a global culture-driven asset management company focused on transforming historical properties into cultural hubs that blend modern digital technology with rich historical value. The company is actively expanding its operations in the UK, where it is currently developing projects such as the Fernie Castle in Scotland and the Robin Hill property in England. These properties are being remodeled in multifunctional cultural venues that will feature fine dining, hospitality services, art expeditions, and cultural exchange events. As part of its broader strategy, MDJM seeks to position itself as a hub for artisan exchanges, art shows, and sales, leveraging its historical properties as platforms for promoting Eastern and Western cultural exchanges. So they're working on promoting history, but it sounds like they want to get into the art industry, selling art, moving art, making money on those things, moving from buyer to seller, from seller to buyer. So let's see, what was the price today? We were at 26.5 cents. She was up over 16%. We got ourselves a hot penny stock on the major exchange who is under $1. I don't recall if I had looked at this for being under $1 yet. We've always got to consider major exchange stocks in hot water under $1, especially if they've been born by the NASDAQ. So what have I got here for us? Well, let's start off with the relative volume so I don't get confused. Dropped a little bit today. Her average is normally 12.7 million over the last 30 days. Today she did 10.3 million. Share structure. We got a decent share structure. Outstanding share count is about 12 million. I don't know what the insiders own, so I can't subtract it and tell you what our float is. But I know our float won't be higher than the outstanding share count. So we're close to an actual low float, and it really could be a low float. Who knows? Market cap is currently about 2.6 million. Is MDJM making money? Oh, they were making money. I mean, yeah, they've still got revenues coming in, but where did it all go? God, 4 years ago, we were at 5.8 million. Remembering those 3 zeros. Fell down to 4.4, then catapulted down to 450,000. Now we're at 144,000. The only thing you can say is at least they get to keep every dollar they make. Quarterlies, I know they've got them. They just don't show up here at the OTC market for the NASDAQ sometimes. Balance sheet, we get those. All right, in the bank, we've got about $500,000. Total assets is about 4 million. Total liabilities, well, that's dirt cheap, 122,000. So we are holding stockholder equity in this company of just under 4 million, and they are squeaking by with some revenues, and it's all profit. So the fundamentals, though they're a bit iffy, they are decent. All right, let's see what I've got now for information. We already looked at that one. Hey, I got my highlights. Got 2 pieces of news here. There we go. We have a letter from the NASDAQ regarding the bid notification, and we've had the ticker change we've already discussed. All right, take that away. I'll figure this out. So they've been underneath $1 for too long, since whenever, and they have got until April 21st, 2025. So as day traders, this really isn't affecting us. Once we know, that's all you want to do is know if it's going to happen in the next week, tomorrow. I mean, I've had these things happen right out from underneath me because I didn't go check at the news. I'm a day trader. I like to be out of a stock by the end of the day. Well, sometimes things happen and I'm not, and I'm holding it. Well, I don't go do my research. If you get stuck holding a stock after the day you were planning on holding it, you deserve to know what you're in. Why was it running? Why did it fall? What's going on? Maybe you want to reanalyze your situation. So I've got to take a look right now. I've got 2 stocks I could not get out of today just because of the way the day was. Now I got to go look at the stocks and learn a little bit about them. All right, so that basically covers everything here, but I do want to peek in on those disclosures. You never know what I may have forgotten. We are on the NASDAQ, so we should get something, but we got nothing. That says something too. A company without filings. Well, every action a company does has a filing to back it up. This company ain't doing very much. I'm just saying. All right, this is going to be a really small ticker. I mean, chart. When did they get this? A couple days ago. I didn't look at this chart. All right, well, let's see. I'm on a 1 hour chart here. Let's see if we go back. How far is that going back? Well, that's going all the way back to March. I've always been under the impression, and I've always told you, when you get a new ticker, you get a new chart. If they throw a D on your ticker just because you're changing something, changing your name, but not your ticker, they throw a D on it. The D falls off. Well, while the D's there, you get a whole new chart. You wouldn't think they did that. And then when the D falls off, you go back to the original chart. Well, if they just changed their ticker, why the heck do we have a chart going all the way back? All right, off on my tangents again. So we are looking at a 6-month, 4-hour view here. Let's see what the 52-week high was. I'm not expecting a 52-week chart. We do have one. Yes, this is February. We've got a high of $1.90. She was going sideways underneath the 200. She kept poking her head up over that 200 like a periscope on a submarine, but would not dare surface, ever. First time she tried to surface, she paid for it. You don't surface when your 200 is falling. You just don't. If you try to get up there and stand, you're going to trip and fall, and you're going to come down further than where you were before. And that's exactly what happened here. You got to wait till that 200 is level and flat, or at least barely almost there or climbing. That's when you get your breakouts. So she tried to stand up, tripped and fell, and came all the way down there to a 52-week low of 14 cents. Now, the exciting thing here I like is that a low bubble, especially a 52-week low or bigger, is a flashing for sale sign. You've got shoppers out there that hunt these. As soon as they pop up, they go look at the fundamentals. And if there's any value, you normally see a bounce right off of that low. There's no trickle. There's no slow. It moves. We got a big bounce right off of that low bubble. So to me, that says that investors see value in this company. And now we are on an uptrend. She is floating on her 9-day. She's gotten on top of her 9, her 20, and her 200 haul. It is actually looking good. It's easier to read these oscillators if I can see more of them. We are in recovery. Our PPO is already cusped down at the bottom. It's about ready to do a crossover right now and come into power. Our MACD has been climbing for quite a while. All of our green bars are getting bigger and bigger, and it's about ready to cross over. And our RSI has been climbing strong. Coming out of the basement, she is pushing from like 27 up to 61 right now. That is a very strong yearly chart. Looking at our 4-hour, you can't see much, but what you see is sweet. Oh, yeah. We have a atypical breakout happening right now, folks. It is a 200 squeeze. The price was sitting on the 50, which is the perfect place for it to be. Anywhere between both 200s is good, but on top of the 50 is prime. This is sitting on top of the 50. She poked up, tapped that 200 a couple times, showing us she has incentive. She wants to start climbing. She's looking for an opportunity. When is that opportunity? I just told you. When the 200 goes flat. So she got close. She can't go over yet. She's antsy. Can't go over yet. Now, our 200 haul on the bottom is climbing. Our 200 MA at the top is falling. They're coming in tight. It's a press. Both 200s, which have equal power, equal strength, are squeezing that price. That price wants to escape quick, and it is running for it right now as our 200 is going flat. Our bars are starting to get bigger. This looks like it is ready to break out right now. Our oscillators are all on the incline right now and climbing. I'm excited about that chart. Can you tell? I like that chart. Now, when she breaks out, she could easily hit that point right there, about 38 cents, hit her head and come back down. She'll come back down and test it. Normally, 8 out of 10 breakouts, they don't keep going. They come down and bounce on that 200 a couple times. But they got to hit their head on something. This looks like a very good resistance at about 38 cents when she breaks out. So I would have a sell in at about 36 cents. Me personally, let her come back down. When she's bouncing around that 200, get back in when she looks like she's ready to go again. Let's come on down to our 20-day 1 hour. Wow, look at this excitement. Boom, break through the 200. She did try to break the 200 here. This, I didn't like this. That was her opportunity to do it, and she passed. Then she crouched and hit a low here and didn't bounce. So this all looks bad to me. I would not be looking for anything. We had another big rip pre-market. You missed out on that. If you don't do pre-market after markets, you might have been able to sell on the way down here and grab something extra. Another rip here. This one actually carried through from pre-market to aftermarket. The bell, she was down there at 14 cents and went to 32 cents. Encroaching on 100%. Came back down and bounced on our dynamic duo here. The 50-day and the 200 haul. Very, very strong. You can see that, folks. Just peg legging it. Throwing a wick down there just to hold her balance. You got to make sure that you got some sort of support. That is a support. Now she's ready to climb. Now she's supporting off of the 20. We are bouncing off of the 20. First of 50, now the 20. The price is getting lighter. It doesn't need a big old thick 50 or 200. A little old 20 will work for it. And when it graduates up and only needs the 9, you know you got yourself a climber right now. So this is looking really sweet. Our oscillators are cooling off after market right now, but the stock is in a nice uptrend. Coming down to our 5-day, 15-minute, as I said, she's in a nice uptrend. She was doing nothing, broke out, came down to the 200, and now she's found her groove. She's pretty much floating on this 50-day. A little bit underneath it, but that's her home. Right now, she's over top of it. I'd expect her to come down underneath it a little bit and come back up. So we'd be looking for an entry underneath the 50, wherever that support and resistance shows up at. When you come under the 50, grab it on that support right there and ride her on up. Okie doke, she's looking good. I might put this one on my watch list. What time is it? 4:47. All right, let me get some of that. Thank you very much. Hey, James, what's up, buddy? Oh, you're still there talking about Ron. Fubo. Yeah, Fubo. I'm glad to see tickers being dropped in this week. I don't think we had any tickers dropped in last week. It's nicotine. Don't get all freaked out. It's not THC. I'm straight talking to you. All right. So we're going to jump back into this. What time is it? We're doing good. So hit my button. Make sure everybody can see what I see. Jump out of this one. Jump into this one. This is LDTC. LDTC came by way of Mark Ryan. Folks, Mark Ryan is a new friend of mine. I'm not sure where I met him. I can't remember if it was on YouTube or if it was on Penny Boys, but he comes to Penny Boys free member page every day while he's working. Don't tell his boss. And he trades. And I don't recommend that, but he seems to do it and do it well. He does 4, 10, 16, 20 trades a day while he's at work, and he's winning most of his trades with stop losses. So he's minimizing his losses and he's maximizing those gains between supports and resistances. Man, he's coming out ahead. Today, he's brought us a ticker. So we're going to take a look at LDTC. The bullets for this. They extended a collaboration with Texas Instruments. They've been working with them for 2 years already. And they've had a public offering for 20 million units. Units include warrants as well as shares. And every warrant down the road, 3 to 5 years, will be exchanged, exercised. And when it is, it's turned into a share. So actually 20 million shares and 20 million warrants is 40 million shares. 20 million in the front door, 20 million in the back door. So let's take a look at LDTC, LeddarTech Holdings. This is a Canadian company out of Quebec. Finished today at $1.62, and she was down about 10.5% today. This is a penny stock on the NASDAQ who has no problems with her price. So let's see. Let's take a look first at the relative volume for the company. Down a little bit today, dropping from 10.7 million down to 8.5. It sounds like deja vu. Let these numbers be different. Outstanding share count is decent. We've got a nice share count here. 28 million, 29 million for the entire share count. That's everything the insiders own and everything on the market. Anything under 100 million is good. Anything under 50 million is luscious. Man, when you start getting down to numbers like this, it can really be sweet, folks. And since we don't know how many shares they own, I don't know what the float is, but it could be considerably less. Market cap for the company right now is about 52 million. Financials for LeddarTech. They've taken a drop over the last 3 years. They were roughly doing 6.5 million with about 2.5 million in profits. They dropped down to 5.5 million, but whoa, where'd all the profits go? Oh, that's bad math. I don't like this new math. Wow, that cost them a lot. Would have to dive in. I don't know what happened there. Maybe we got a quarterly report here. We don't. All right, let's look at the balance sheet. Well, even this is a bit funky. Our balance sheets only go up to September of 2023. No 2024. We have no quarterlies here. So we're lacking on the financial information. I mean, this is a year old. Back then, they had 3.7 million in the bank. Back then, they had 53 million in assets, 48 million in liabilities. So back then, we had 5.2 million in stockholder equity. What have we got now? I'm not real sure. I wonder if I dove into one of the financials over here. And let's see, disclosures. Let's see if I got any disclosures up there. I do. Just the one. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about what LeddarTech does. LeddarTech is a global software company founded in 2007 and headquartered in Quebec City, with additional research and development centers in Montreal and Tel Aviv, Israel. LeddarTech develops and provides comprehensive AI-based low-level sensor fusion and perception software that enables the deployment of autonomous driving. They create software with AI to help cars drive themselves and park themselves. Why don't they just say that? LeddarTech's automotive-grade software applies advanced AI and computer vision algorithms to generate accurate 3D models of the environments to achieve better decision-making. They've got over 170 patent applications, with 87 of them already granted. So we've got lots of different news here going back to September. The company unveiled their next generation ADAS, introducing the Leddar Navigator at AutoSens Europe 2024 in collaboration with Ficosa. Now, I don't know if this is insinuating they got a deal with Ficosa or they were just making a presentation with Ficosa. In October, the company announced a strategic license agreement with Solid State LiDAR Protection Inc. We're not going to dive into this, but obviously they got a deal going there. You may want to learn more about it. The company announced receipt of $3 million following disbursement of the second tranche. So they've got some money that they're earning, probably hitting mile markers. This is the second one. They got $3 million. I don't know how many of them there are. If you want to know, I'm sure they're going to tell you in the news. Then we got two pieces of news up here. LeddarTech announces collaboration with Texas Instruments for advanced driver assistance systems and autonomous driving solutions. And LeddarTech enters into amendments to a credit facility and bridge financing officer. Where'd my piece of news go? I thought I had a piece of news for that. Or was it up here? Basically, they're just fixing a lender agreement. They've put the interest off so that we don't have to worry about that. What was the other thing that we were saying there? And then you've got Texas Instruments here, which is helping them with their autonomous driving. And I thought it was here. I guess it is. I look at a lot of pieces of news here. I must have got something confused. And the one piece of filings I wanted to talk to you about was that 20 units. 20 units, they will sell them as units. You'll be able to buy the unit, and then at some point they'll split them apart. And normally you get a better deal. Now, once they split them, you can trade the stock and you can trade the warrant. Both are tradable. And when the stock has news, the warrant will run normally farther and faster percentage-wise than the stock. The penny stock, the warrant will be a penny stock. I guarantee you that. And it will go 50% when the stock moves 5%. It'll go a couple 100% when the stock moves 30%. But the problem with warrants is that they have little liquidity. The volume is off and on, off and on. You've got to watch the spread between the ask and the bid. When you see it popping and you say, oh my God, I'm up 500%. Well, that just probably covered the gap. And if you look close, you'll see the bid has not changed. It's still the same price. Even though it's 500% up, you can't make any money. Not until the next couple of people bid. They can bid 10 cents. They can bid, 5 cents, somewhere from your 2 cents to 10 cents, somewhere in there. And that's where it'll jump. And then you can sell. So don't just rush in and sell. Always look at your ask and bid. Make sure you're getting what you want. So does that cover everything for the company? God, I'm getting confused here. Taylor. Yeah, I think that does cover everything. We covered the news. Yeah, man, we covered the news. I did want to mention that LeddarTech announced receipt of their first installment of their prepaid royalty fee. They're getting royalties from some of their products. I don't know how that works. Again, you need to look into that. But that's going to help them with their financials. And their financials need a little bit of help. As I said, they've lost a lot of money here. I don't know if it was a one-time asset purchase or a loss or if it's bad or good. I just don't know. So you're really going to have to check into that. All right, let's take a look now at the chart for LDTC. I love charting. Charting's so fun to me. All right, I forgot to put my lines back. You guys forgot to remind me. I got to put every single one back. Oh, all right. This is the 15-minute. Let's go back a year. Okay, 1 year ago, I don't see any reverse stock splits here. We were at just about $10. And let's see, is that as far as this goes? Is that when it actually came on the market? Oh, no. No, but this was a SPAC. A SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company that comes onto the market with no business, no revenues, and they are looking to make a deal, and they have no idea who they're going to make a deal with. And they start selling their shares, speculative shares, you may want to call them, for $10 each. And they got 18 to 24 months to find a company to make a deal with. Maybe a private company, maybe a company on a lower tier that wants to get up on the major exchange. If they don't cut a deal in 18 to 24 months, this is the only place you're going to find a money-back guarantee. You will get $10 back for every share that you bought. Now, this price can be bid up. It can be bid down. But until they close a deal, it's only worth $10. So if you could find this, and it sometimes does, falls down to $4 for some stupid reason, somebody didn't know this isn't where you sell, you could buy it at $4. And if the company fails and goes out of business, you're going to get $10 back for every share that you bought it for. But if you bought it up here at $10.56, like this person did, he'd only get $10. Now, once they close the deal, you'll normally see a little bit of excitement when things are happening. But this is the sad part. Once the deal is closed, once it actually closes, it falls. Now, here's the thing, folks. This SPAC, it had warrants. Every time news came out, the stock would not move. Maybe a couple pennies, but it's only worth $10 until they close the deal. So it's the warrants that get all the attention. On SPACs, the stock does not move. The warrants move. Only the warrants move. So if you're going to play a SPAC when it has good news, when they announce a merger deal, first time you ever heard it, that's when it's going to run the most. When they close that merger deal, it is going to fall just like that. That is common, folks, over and over again. So we were at $11 when they closed the deal and then fell all the way down here to $2.67. And you'd think that was low enough, wouldn't you? But no, she continued falling all the way down here to 22 cents, which she hit last October. And just here recently, she had the news and got excited and pounced, got on top of her 50. We don't even have a 200 here yet. But she's on top of the Boss MA on the board right now. All of our oscillators have taken the turn. They've been falling. All of them have taken the turn right now and are starting to come up. But here's the interesting thing. Look, this price is falling. hard, no doubt about it. But look at our MACD down here. Our MACD is rising. That is a divergence, folks. A divergence like that, that is a bullish divergence. When this snaps back into place, it will be the price following the MACD. The price will come back into line with this. So this looks ready for a breakout. Duh. What was your first clue, John? This looks ready for a breakout to me. And look at that RSI, folks. That RSI busted out of the basement. Oh, my God. Down there at 5. 30 is the floor. You can go to 0, between 0 and 100. But we have 70 and 30 as our floor and ceiling. She was down at 5, but now she is all the way up at 66. Let's come on down to our, let's take a look at the 4-hour, 6-month. Oh, man, all them lines. I'm not taking my line down. No, I'm not. Not this time. 6 months ago, we were at $3.50. There's our low of 22 cents. We still have our 200 in a fall. It's not ready to break out yet. Oh, man, you can't see much, can you? Back this out. All right, right here, as she's getting closer, I'm going to have to come in and just get rid of all that. As she was getting closer, you could see she started jumping. Some excitement came into the picture. She was jumping and bouncing as she was getting up here. Couldn't quite make it. Looks like she was probably just going to fight for a while until this happened. When this happened, everything changed. She did go from 33 cents all the way up, all the way up to, wow, $2.76. So you're looking at 750% gains there. What a rip in 3 days, folks. She came all the way back down to her 9-day, which is what she has been floating on, folks. For those of you that only look at your short charts, your 1 minute and your 5 minute, maybe you peek at the 15 minute, this is why you need to be looking at your long charts. This is showing us an uptrend. So when you see her falling here and you're going, oh my God, she's in a crash. No, she's adjusting herself. She's just coming back down to the 9 so that she can get back into the climb. Remember, the price is not an eagle. It does not have wings. It's a kangaroo. It jumps. It has to have something to land on. Anytime it gets too high from any one of these supports, it's going to come back down to it. And anytime these MAs get too far apart from their friends, they come back home. So we've got to make sure nothing gets too far apart. Healthy pullbacks are what we're looking for. Let's jump on down to that 1 hour, 20-day. Oh, man, that was a play I should have been in. That is beautiful. She's taken off. She has had her jumps and her falls, her jumps and her falls. These are healthy pullbacks. This is beautiful, folks. And she has come right down to that dynamic duo, has she not? She is right there at her 250. She did try to hang on to the 20. You can see she was poking on that, but it was getting heavy, just not enough there to support her. So she's dipped a little bit. Not a lot, just a little to reach the 50 and 200. I think she's still going to climb. She could dip a little, but I'm thinking she's got more to give right now. The chart looks good. Our oscillators, well, our PPO looks like she's trying to recover, but our MACD is falling. And this looks like it's primarily climbing or at least going sideways. So again, we've got a divergence, but this one is a bearish divergence. They're falling away, and it will correct itself by coming together, and that would bring the price down. But it's not a strong one. So if it comes down, I think it's just going to be a very quick dip. I am actually liking this chart. Take a look at the 5-day, 15-minute. All right, and in case you didn't know it, these are the break points for when she starts to run, folks, where she hits her head and she falls. And then she bounces and comes and hits her head and falls. So we would be getting in right above that line, and we'd be getting out right there. How many times? Well, you could do it there. You just made money. She came back down. You could do it there. You just made money. When you find a stock going sideways, when you find a nice spread, just keep coming in over and over again, over top of the supports and underneath the resistances. That is why these are drawn here. so that I know when the price could hesitate and I could get an opportunity. So she's going sideways right now. She is on strong supports, as you can see. She's on top of her 200. She is underneath her 200 haul, which is just as strong as our 200 here. Now, again, this is a squeeze. This is rising. This is falling. Hopefully, she's going to want to evacuate. And with everything basically in an uptrend right now, she should squeeze up. Should squeeze up. So I am actually liking the chart for LDTC. This one is one I am definitely putting on my watch list for tomorrow. Thank you, Mark. Good one. All right. My voice is going hoarse. I'm loving that. I'd like to take a moment of silence here, please. 5:05. All right. What have you guys been talking about? Taylor, get your butt in here, girl. If you can get on the computer, you can get on this show. Ooh, come on, guys. You talking to her. Tell her where she belongs. Tell her how much you miss her. I know you really do. Well, put it to good use right now. Everybody, get Taylor. I love that girl. Sorry I'm late. Had visitors. You ain't in here. Shoot. OTLK. I haven't looked at that in a while. I should take another look at it because OTLK was an opportunity. She took a drop and there was no news that we could see on the drop. I think there was a, what was it? A public offering that was that big or something? I can't remember. Yes, just taking longer than anticipated. Having to leave the hospital early in October. Oh, now you make me feel guilty. Sorry. All right. So, in the absence of Taylor, the show must go on. Dun, 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 dun. So let's do it. 5:05, and I've got another ticker. Jumping on to Arrow. Arrow. Who brought me Arrow? Underdog. Arrow had a huge jump in volume today, is a low float stock, and is establishing a U.S. manufacturing facility here in Texas to bring costs down. Arrow Inc. finished today at 65 cents. She was down almost 19% today, dropping about 15 cents. This is a penny stock on the NASDAQ, so we've got to take concern in regard with that price being underneath the dollar. Always look to see if NASDAQ has warned them. Look at the chart, see if they've been under $1 for too long. So this is an American company out of Texas. They tell us here that Arrow Inc. designs, manufactures, and sells electric vehicles for closed campus mobility, urban and community transport, local and on-demand last-mile deliveries, and government use in the United States. It provides four-wheeled, purpose-built electric vehicles for universities, businesses, and medical campuses, last-mile delivery services, and food service providers. So these vehicles, this is the vehicle we're talking about. They're more utility-style vehicles, things that they can use, the people there. They've got three different vehicles here. They've got the flatbed. They've got the bed that has the girders around it. And then they have the box truck as well. But they also have one for commuting. Obviously, it's not a lot of people. It's only a couple of people. But 4 people. This thing does about 50 miles on a charge. Only goes like 25 miles per hour. It's, it's not for highway use. It's for on the campuses and stuff. And I've got to presume, I may be wrong here, but I'm just guessing because I haven't done a deep dive. But I got to presume they've got some sort of coverings, that go over this. If you got people out there in the middle of a snowstorm or rain, you'd hopefully have plastic screens or something. Maybe it looks cheap and they don't show us in the pictures, but hopefully they got something there. All right, so let's see what we've got going on. Let's start with the relative volume for this company. Ooh, something's going on, ain't it? My God, look at that volume. We went from 42,000 shares a day over the last 30 days to over 13.5 million shares today. You don't do that for no cause. Yeah, we got a catalyst. I guarantee you that. Share structure for Arrow. Oh, and we got a low share count right from the get-go. It is a low float, even just as an outstanding share count of about 6.7 million. The insiders don't own too many. They got about 80 million of them. We get the rest. I don't care. 6.6 million. We've got ourselves an excellent float here. Market cap, we're at about 5.4 million. Are they making any money with these things? Yes and no. They were making some money, but they're not making any profit ever. They were making a couple $1 million off and on over the last 3 years, but this last year they fell down to under $500,000 in revenue. And look, they were losing. The longer they're in business, the more money they're losing. Doesn't matter how much they're making. I'm not liking that. And the thing is, they say that they sell these in Europe and America. Now, I did some searching around, not a deep dive, but a deeper dive than I do on most of the stocks, trying to see where their market is. Where are you guys actually selling these things? I know campuses and stuff, but I mean in Europe, in Italy, in, Texas, where are you selling them? I couldn't find any specific areas. They just keep saying Europe and the USA, and they also say primarily North America. So I don't know what to say. Quarterlies, jeez, they're falling. We were at 88,000, jumped to 157,000. Now we're down to $5,000, and we're losing money, 280,000. Thank God that number came down. Balance sheet, I'm a little scared to look. Well, they got money in the bank. They got 12.7 million in the bank. They got 16 million in short-term investments. So they've got total assets of about 36 million. Whew, thank God. Total liabilities is down there. We're at about 14 million. So we do have positive stockholder equity. I always like to see that. It bugs me because if these people are taking a paycheck and we don't have any value whatsoever, who do you think's paying them? So this is good. We got about 12 million in that. All right, let's see what we've got now in the news. Dun, 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 dun. You took away my highlights. That's okay. Oh, you didn't. Great. So we've got two pieces of news here. Both of them came out this month, one on the 4th, one today. Arrow partners with GLV Ventures for lower cost engineering and manufacturing based in the United States. And the second one melds right into this one. Beginning with the company's Vanish electric vehicle, Arrow will utilize GLV's lower cost U.S. manufacturing footprint to add new partnerships and new secure purchase order agreements. They've been making their vehicles in China. Got to stop that, right? We ain't giving our money to China anymore. I don't hate China. It's just they don't like us. And I don't give my money to people that don't like me. So they're going to bring that over here to America. We are partnering with GLV to redesign the Vanish vehicle to produce a more viable vehicle using lower cost production and engineering methods, while also ensuring that the vehicle is made in America at GLV's Beeville, Texas manufacturing facility. And the next piece of news goes right on into that one. That's not it. It's this one over here. I thought I had this up. The two of those companies, GLV and Arrow, are now going to become a supplier for General Motors. Yes, that General Motors. There's no other General Motors. Work will expand the scope of Arrow's recently announced low-cost manufacturing and engineering efforts. Arrow intends to collaborate with their partner, GLV, for future projects with the top U.S. auto manufacturer, GM. Now, I'm not quite sure what it is they're supplying them. I didn't go through all of this, but I did kind of read what they give us here, and there's just not a lot there. But the fact that they're working with a Tier 1 OEM, original equipment manufacturer, is a big deal. So that explains why the volume kicked up so much. And when you've only got 6 million in the float and you're doing over 100 million a day in volume, whoa, you can get some running out of that. All right, I got one more thing here to share with you. Yeah, they got a stockholders meeting. This is going to be on December 30th. Now, let's see here. I did not see yet. The price is at 65 cents. So before I run away thinking everything's hunky-dory here, I did check these Form 4s. I always look at Form 4s because they can give you a heads up. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. Now, they can do that in a bajillion different ways. But when you dive into these things, All you got to do is go right to the center, right here. And if you see a P, that's a purchase. If you see an S, that's a sale. You see any other letters there, it's something else. If you want to learn about it, go learn about it. But we don't have any purchases or sales here. It'll tell you how many and how much. And over here, it'll tell you how many they have total, who's buying them up here, and who they are in the company. So I really do like Form 4s, but not one of these is a purchase or a sale. So we don't have to worry about that. Still want to worry about the NASDAQ. They normally come in on 8Ks. I don't see one there. Trying to do a quick browse here. That's July. God. Uh-oh. There it is. Look how far back I had to go, folks. This filing is out in July. Here it is November, and I'm worried about the price at 65 cents. So they were warned. June and July, they got a warning, blah, 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 under $1. Where's the date here? Yeah, they could fix it by reversing or doing a reverse stock split. Oh, I don't see a date. Arr. All right, that's a little concerning to me. It's probably in there on one of those 6Ks maybe. Did I see any 6Ks in there? How about that 8K? Did we skip one? Appointment of officers. No. So they were notified by the NASDAQ, and I don't see another 8K here. I thought I hit all the 8Ks, which is where it should have showed up. So if you want to learn about this company, besides that 8K being the late notice, this 10Q, this ARS up here, I do believe this has a lot of information. Oh, right. That ARS, you're going to use PDF if you're on a phone or a computer. I don't know what it comes like. Ah, there we go. There is a financial right there. So this will give you all the information. Is not falling under the 10Q. This fell under the ARS for the most recent one. We do have a 10Q back there, though. So that's what we got going on here. The deal with GM. We don't have a lot of information. Don't need it. We're not even buying on the rumor. We are buying on the news, and we don't even know exactly what's all entailed in this deal. Just that they're dealing with a very big company. So let's take Arrow now and jump on over to the charts. All right, now let's go back a year. AYRO, Arrow Inc., 1 day, 1 year chart. We've been in a downtrend the entire year. It was a full year ago. She was at $2.25. I do not see any reverse stock splits here. Looks like she's setting up for a atypical breakout, right? She is getting on top of that 50 right now. Right now, there's our 200 haul underneath, climbing, pushing up, our 200 MA, falling, coming down, pinching the price in between. Very strong volume right now. But what the heck is that? Wow. Look at our PPO falling hard. Look at our MACD falling hard. Wow, everything is falling really hard right now on our yearly chart. Even though up here, it's kind of looking good. Come on down to our 6-month 4-hour view. In a downtrend here, boy, what a rip that was. So she went here from, was that 80 cents? Yep, 80 cents up to $2. Very short-lived. I'm sure if we came down to the minute chart, that's how long it would be there. Came right back down. You don't stay up over the 200 if she's fallen. But for some reason, she got excited there. Came down, hit this low bubble, one extreme to the next extreme, kind of balanced things off. And then she started going sideways for a long time. 200 got close. She did try to make a breakout here. I wouldn't call it a breakout, but she's not underneath the 200 anymore. She's on top, but she can't hold it. She's falling. So this was looking totally weak. And then she got rippy here. This is where she jumped from 80 cents up to that 94 cents. And she did most of that aftermarket and pre-market. Though I see a huge bounce right there. We'll probably get a better view on the hour. She did jump all the way up there to $1.12 before coming deeper than where she started. All of our oscillators are falling on the 4-hour chart. It ain't looking pretty. 1-hour chart, sideways activity till we had that rip, climbing through the aftermarket, pre-market hours. Wow, that is right at the bell. And I really can't tell what went on there. She jumped to 112 and came all the way down. This was a low until she hit the new low in aftermarket right now. Jeez, oh Pete's, that was incredible. And it was a bad day. She's been falling all day, and it looks like she's still falling. All of our oscillators are in real bad shape right now. Every single one of them is just barreling downhill. 5-day, 15 minutes, show any hope? Would you believe there is a little bit of hope here? She was falling. She has now found the floor down here on that low. That's where she's bouncing off of. Her 52-week low. Could even be a bigger one than that. She is still underneath her 9. You can't climb till you're on top of your 9. So she's got that to deal with. Oscillators, she looks like she's trying to do something here. No, thank you very much. Looks like she's trying to get that MACD up, but there's not a lot of strength here. We need to get these green bars back up on the signal line up here so that she has some strength. And our RSI is falling. PPO is falling. I think she's going to go sideways. I don't see a lot of strength here. I know she has cause to jump, but the chart doesn't show a lot of volume. And without volume, there's just no real reason to watch it. There's a lot of other stocks. If you want to put it on your watch list, it doesn't cost you anything to do that. Okie dokie. He's still got some voice left, and he's at 521. So have you guys been on her? No, looks like LT's been doing all the talking. Called my army out. My army didn't come a-calling. I led that charge alone, folks. Freedom! Freedom! Free! Imagine Braveheart running, blue face and all, turns around. Now he's got egg on his face. Ay, caramba. All right. Super sticker, $3. You know what those are, folks. That's when someone pays you for what you're doing. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I do. Look, I was a waiter for many years. I have no problem taking tips. This tells me that you truly appreciate what I do. Saying thank you, I love it. Giving me money, I love it more. Okay, we got time for another one? I'm sure we do. Do I have anything set up, though? I'm peeking. I do. I've got one more set up. I'm wondering if we should look at it or not. It's Sciata. It was given to me by MBS. We already did look at one by MBS. You guys have been asking for tickers through the show. I ought to actually look at one of yours. OTLK, Sciata, Tilray. You know what? I'm going to go for Tilray. Let's dive into Tilray. I have not done any preliminary due diligence on this one. Let's get rid of you. Nothing personal, buddy. There you go. Make sure I hit the button. I'm doing it. Tilray. Tilray is a TIG company. TIG. All right. Tilray. Tilray is a twig company. You know, that stuff you smoke that makes you feel grand and all good. If I say the other words, the primary words, there's a 50-50 chance they can pull my video down. They can actually get complaints from advertisers. So it's just best not to say the word. So I'm talking about twigs, you know, the big C word, the green stuff. Legal in more than half the country and still not federally legal. Don't they know that we don't have to have it federally legalized? No. Twigs are legal if over 50% of the country makes use of it and says they're legal. And we have more than 50% of the country saying it's legal right now. The federal government is screwing us right now because they're trying to get their greedy little hands into this market before they legalize it. Do you realize how much money we're losing export-wise? The world is legalizing this twigs, and we can't get into the business. California can't sell their stuff to New Jersey. New Jersey would love to get some stuff from Humboldt County, but New Jersey's got some tough strains going in there now. We can't share it with anybody. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Tilray is one of the largest twig companies out there. By footprint, Twig is the largest twig company out there. There is nobody bigger than them. And they are more than just twigs. They are beverages. They are beverages mixed with THC. They are alcoholic beverages. I think they have some straight beverages, soft beverages, whatever you want to call them. They are, I do believe they are the 5th largest craft brewery in America. They bought 8 subsidiaries from Anheuser-Busch. They bought another subsidiary for a brewery called Stillwater. And they got all this going on. I think that deal was with Molson's. So they've got both sin stocks things going. Sin stocks are stocks that do well, even when the economy sucks. That is your twigs, your alcohol, your gambling, your entertainment, your booze. All of these stocks, people still want this stuff, regardless. Maybe they want it even more during bad economic times. So Tilray. Let's start off with her volume. Not bad today. She jumped about 5 million, going from 26 million to 31 million shares. Share structure for the company? Really? You know, now this is a Canadian twig company, which is completely different than an American twig company. American twig companies cannot get onto the major exchange. If they touch the plant, they have to stay on the OTC. But if a foreign company comes onto the American markets, they can put their stocks onto the major exchange. So we have a big disadvantage with American companies here in America on our exchanges. They all have to stay on the OTC. And most of them have hit a ceiling. They have taken themselves all the way up to the OTCX, the best tier, where they're filing, where they're getting audited. They're doing everything they can to prove they are strong. But a lot of these companies just aren't doing well right now because there's a glut of marijuana. Oh, I did it. Oh, okay. Since we cracked the ice, we're talking cannabis companies. I've said marijuana. We're just going to dive on into it. All right, now that I popped my bubble, market cap for the company. Look at the market cap for this penny stock. We are over $1 billion, 1.1 billion on the market cap. Financials for this company. They're doing good, and it is growing. 4 years ago, we were at $500 million a year. At the end of their fiscal year, which ended in May of this year, they were at $750 million, and they got to keep about $250 million of that as profit. Quarterlies, we're going to get these here. We do. Wow, they're kicking up, boys. Look at this. It's about 200 million every quarter, and they're getting to keep about 60 million every quarter just selling cannabis. Now, this isn't just cannabis. Ding, ding, ding. They also have all those beverages as well. Let's see what we've got on their balance sheet. This should be interesting. Cash in the bank. We've got 205 million. Wow. Wow. Look at the assets. $4.2 billion. Liabilities under 784 million. So we're looking at, 3.5 billion. $3.5 billion in stockholder equity. Very strong revenues, very strong profits, very strong stockholder equity. This company looks excellent when it comes to their fundamentals. All right, let's see if they've got a link here so we can take a quick peek. They don't. Oh, poo on you. Let's see here. I want to give you just a little more insight into Tilray. Let's see here. Don't freeze up on me. Just looking for their company site. No, that's investors. Tilray. Here we go. Tilray closes what? We just saw news there. Yeah, they've got whiskey now. Whiskey. This cannabis company is selling all sorts of beverages. Let me see. Tilray brand closes transaction acquiring 8 beer and beverage brands from Anheuser-Busch. Solidifies leadership position in the U.S. as craft beer market. I knew what I was talking about when I was talking about that. So they are a huge beverage maker as well as cannabis producer. And I like that. Most cannabis companies are just cannabis. Now, they're doing everything in the world they can with cannabis. They are creating beverages, edibles, smokables, any paraphernalia that they can come up with. But this company has beverages that have nothing to do with cannabis. So I like that aspect about the company. Plus, they are Canadian, so they don't have to worry about any of the BS we're putting up with here in America. And when we do go legal, I guarantee you that's going to help this company. They're going to be able to start doing business across the border. Right now, it's hands off. They can't do anything with us. We can't do business with any other country. It stinks. I hate it. All right, let's see what else we can learn about Tilray here. Let's go back to the site. Did I lose it already? Shh. Fine and dandy. Tilray. What did we look at? Did we miss anything? That's what happens when you bounce around like that. Oh, we didn't look at the disclosures. We were so impressed by the financials. Whoa. All right, we've got an 8K here that just came out about 10 days ago. This one is Tilray Brands discloses on the Form K that a lawsuit commenced against it and its directors by Nabi Salama. You want to learn about that? You're going to have to do some more research here. Let's see what else we got. Where's my buttons? Too many cameras. Cameras, buttons. Submission of matters to vote on for security holders. Okay. I like to look always at a vote to see if they're going to do a reverse stock split. This company's got a lot of shares. They're going to vote on directors, independent registered public accounting firm, authorized share proposal. They want to increase that. And a government's change of proposal. Whew. No, we don't have any reverse stock splits on this meeting coming up. So I don't see anything here to really worry about. We got a couple Form 4s. Just see if they were purchases. Hey, these are purchases. This is the chief financial officer. That's a good one. This is Carl. Carl just purchased himself 26,000 shares at $1.36. That now gives him a total of 660,000 shares. Who else bought in? See here. This is a director. This is Rene. Rene, oh, he didn't buy. That's an M. See right there. It's something else. Now, if you want to know what it is, you can come over here. Sometimes they'll give you an explanation. On November 8th, the reporting person purchased 11.9 thousand shares of common stock at $1.50. Okay. I don't know why they got an M there, but you can learn this stuff. If right now I should go learn. What does the M mean on a Form 4? You can actually look that stuff up and teach yourself. All right, let's go take a look at Tilray's chart, which was $1.21 today. Duh. And dropped let's just call it 4%. And she is on the NASDAQ. Lucky. All right, this Canadian cannabis company, Tilray, let's go back a year. I knew this company before she had her first joint. I knew about these companies back in 2018. That's when I started trading. I came in just because of cannabis. I had an income at the time that provided me not only the time, but the money to do something else. And I said, why don't we start trading? And since I was a user and it was legal in California, I said, cannabis. And they had just had the biggest run they had ever had in December of 2017. It was massive, folks. I got a friend up in Canada who became a millionaire off of cannabis the day after Christmas in December of 2017. The market exploded. And from that point until COVID, the cannabis market fell. It was volatile, but it fell. And I've been with it for a long time. So Tilray, a year ago, no, it wasn't even a full year ago, April, she hit a high of $2.97. That blue line right there, I put these up whenever we had made a video on it, looked at it. So we looked at this April 18th, good time, right? We saw this at about $1.50 and she ran to about $3, $2.97. If you had hung it out all of that time. because we saw it on the 18th, I think it was, and she ran up until the 4th. So that was like 2 weeks. But there were many opportunities to take gains. I can definitely say that. And from that point, she's been in a downtrend until she just hit this recent 52-week low of $1.20, and we're at $1.21. Oscillators, everything is still falling right now. There's not a lot of force, but it's still falling. It's been falling. Take a look now at our 6-month 4-hour view. Not a whole lot of hope there. We're at $2.10, $3.10. $3.10. How do you get $3.10 if the high was $2.97? Strange. It's not me, folks. I am not high. That 6-month bubble says 310. So 310 down to $1.20, which looks to have happened today. Oh, this isn't nice at all. Volume looks like it's been increasing, but you can see it's been turning from green to red. We're getting more sellers into the picture, and she is still on a downtrend. Take a look at our 1 hour, 20-day view. Yeah, look, she was falling here. The 200-day MA, you can see right there. There's a bend. She is just starting, hopefully, maybe, cross our fingers, to go flat. I think people were thinking, yes, this is it. And we got excitement. People actually thought she was going to start going flat and breaking out. And they were ready for the breakout. That's the way it looks to me. And she continued falling. She broke and just continued falling. So the price came right back down. We've given it another chance here where the 200 MA is totally flat. And all she wants to do is squeeze underneath it. And now she's dipping again, and she's now back into a fall, and it looks like it's picking up momentum to me. She's going to bounce a little bit, but I don't think that's a trend change. This looks like everything is starting to barrel down again. How sad. This is a company that's got $3 billion in stockholder equity, making strong revenues, $200 million every 3 months, $60 million in profit. And they're falling as if something's going wrong with them. I don't get it. Do people think there's something going on with American laws and this Canadian company? They just don't know the two have a brick wall between them? Let's come on down now to our, where are we at? The 1 hour. Let's come on down to the 5-day. She's in a downtrend. This is, you can see here, she locks up with these accumulations, consolidations, going sideways. We expect a pop. Here comes our 20. We could have had a breakout here, but no. She gets close to the 200 and runs like a scaredy cat. Comes back up, gets close, runs like a scaredy cat. No, I don't see this as wanting to climb. And I don't know why. I don't know if shorters are tearing the crap out of this. It could very easily be shorters, folks. It very well could be, because this stock has got a lot of equity. It's one of the biggest stockholder equity stocks I have seen in months. Months. I look at a lot of penny stocks, folks. This thing is blasting off with money on all accounts. They have got lots of products, lots of stores, lots of dispensaries, biggest cannabis company in the world in numerous countries, and it's falling. All I can say is, as I was saying before, this should be an entry position right now. I want to go back 5 years. That's an all-time low right there, folks. What? Yeah, that's right. No, there was no reverse stock splits with this company. It has been at $67, and that was all the way back in 2021. 2021, it was $67, and we're down to $1.20. Now, they had a lot of stuff going on back then, but not near as much as they've got now, and darn sure not as much money as they've got now, and we're down here. Folks, I'm going to get into this company. I forgot about it. I couldn't get into it back here. It was getting too expensive in 2018. It was silly. Here we had a nice run, and I just kind of gotten away from cannabis because There's no growth in the sector anymore. It's kind of merged out. Everybody done their thing, and we're just waiting for legal things to change in America. But the rest of the world is doing its thing, including Tilray. So I am going to get a position in Tilray. I'll buy some now, about 30%, maybe 40% at this price. And if she falls, I'll buy some more. When she starts to climb, even if I pay more than what I paid at my initial price, I'm going to feel I'm getting a deal with this company. I like Tilray a lot. I'm glad we chose Tilray. This is the very first stock that was given to me after the ones we already had due diligence on. All right, folks, my voice did make it, but I am feeling it. It is about 20 minutes to 6, and you have hung it out with me. I appreciate it. And I see I did have my back up with me in the far corners. LT's been out there talking to you folks. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you folks being here. I know you go to some live streams and you get a lot more interaction with the guy here, but I don't know if he's as goofy or as loud. I know he ain't got a beard like this, does he? No way. Don't worry, it ain't Santa's. You'll recognize the man this year. He's going to look the same. Well, thank you, folks. I know you gave me a lot more tickers, and I appreciate that. And I hope for all of you viewers out there, you are going through the comments, picking up tickers. It's one of the reasons I like to have you bring tickers to us. It's not just for me. I'm not trying to pad my watch list with your work. That's a good idea. I'm trying to pad everybody's watch list. So even when we can't get to those other tickers, other people seen them, and don't just throw a ticker up there. Tell us why you think it's going to run, why we should look at it. Matter of fact, when you give me a ticker, do that. I would appreciate that, just in case I don't want to look foolish and miss a big piece of news that was mentioned on Twitter, and I never looked on Twitter. Please. Thank you, folks. I appreciate your time. Won't be a video tomorrow, but there will be one this weekend, as always. Loved having you here. I will see you next week, this same time, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, on this same channel with this same beard. And maybe, just maybe, Taylor will be here. No promises. We'll see you then. Bye-bye, folks. The Home Alone face, sure, we can